It's Madden NFL 22 on EA Sports. And the question is, are you ready for some football? It's the reigning Super Bowl champs and the Ravens, and it comes your way next.
Some might say it's cold. Others, like myself and my partner, we say this is football weather as we welcome you to chilly M&T Bank Stadium near the Inner Harbor in Baltimore. The two teams emerging from their respective tunnels a minute ago to the approval of this Baltimore crowd. They're all set as their Ravens will match up with the Miami Dolphins. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you look at this Raven team as they get ready here. They were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2 in a row.
And what I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory last week is they put it together in every phase. Good offense, good defense, and some key plays on special teams. Let's see if they can get that second win in a row.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Dolphins, they've come in on a nice run of recent form, 4 wins out of 5.
And they looked awfully good last week and came away with a 2-touchdown victory. They did have a few reasons for concern defensively, but all in all, they'll take a repeat here if they could get it.
Season is upon us. We've got the gift of the NFL as we're underway here in Week 16. Taking it about the 1. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Called it the 26. Now whistles, and we've got a man down. A man down here following the kickoff. Not something you want to see in Week 16 or any week, really. We'll be right back. Throwing Jones. Oh, he's going to air it out right away. And it'll be incomplete. Good job staying with him defensively. And it'll bring up second down. To throw again on second down. Jones. That's complete. It's Devin Duvernay. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35.
Well, they obviously red man covers their partner, and he got downfield, broke down the defender, made him
What do you mean by that, Bert?
Yeah, he made him think he was going to run a different route. Probably thought he was going to take it upfield. Then he curls back inside for the completion.
And a good physical run that time. He's going to wind up gaining 5 on that one. From the 41, Jones. That's caught by his tight end, Isaac Nauta. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. So now 1st and 10 as they've crossed into Miami territory at the 46. Here's a run on first down that won't even get back to the line of scrimmage. He will lose a yard. 2nd and 11. This defense for the Dolphins, they were strong last week, CD, and that went over New England.
And I'm eager to see the game plan and trying to attack them this week because when you take it away 4 times through interceptions, what do you do now when you go into a game? Do you decide you can't throw the ball? Do you try and run it more? Or do you tell your quarterback, make sure you see your guys open before you deliver?
Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss. Now Jones. That's complete. It's Rashad Bateman. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And they'll be faced with a 3rd and inches. They'll try to run for it with Dobbins. And Dobbins, he is not going to get there. They stop him short of the line to gain. They'll be marked inches short. No gain on the play. And that's going to lead them to 4th down. Here's Justin Tucker now for the Raven field goal try. This from 54 yards away. And Tucker's kick right there. It's good. And the Ravens strike first at 3-zip. They were probably hoping to get him a little bit closer for a shorter field goal, but he was able to get it done from deep.
Nice little tester for him to begin things, huh? I think he was open for a little bit more of a chip shot. Instead, they made him stretch it out a little bit, but he's got to feel great now that he put it through the pipes.
And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback. So here come the Dolphins now as they get set to take over on offense. And they'll be led out by the guy under center, Charles, their quarterback.
Anytime anyone throws for over 300 yards in a game, you know their name is going to be considered for Offensive Player of the Week. And in the AFC last week, our guy got it.
Yeah, he was the guy on top of his game. He'll try to duplicate that here in this one. They'll come out throwing here on first down. Open receiver here, complete. It's Parker. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds.
Let's make this one simple. What a catch, especially the finishing part of getting his feet in bounds, toe tapping, and, of course, foot dragging.
Little tapestry, if you will.
Oh, I like it.
Plenty of shouts from this crowd as they watch the replay. They want a challenge, and they're going to get one. Did he keep those feet in bounds? That's the question they've got to decide. And I got to say, watching it in real time, it was awfully close.
Yeah, it certainly looked like a heck of a catch because he didn't appear to bobble it, which could complicate things. But even with the benefit of replay, that's pretty tight.
Now, here's the call.
Let's go, baby.
So the challenge there does not go their way. This will indeed remain a completed pass. And a really good show of force there as he gets through for 4 tough yards. The rushing numbers for Gaskin last week, 21 carries, 61 yards.
He's been a huge part of their winning streak because he establishes not just an identity and a tone, but the team relies on it. He takes care of the football, he gains yardage for him, chews up clock. That's been a big part of why they're winning games lately.
And the line to gain here is the 37 on third down. They're going to look to throw. And this is caught. It's Parker. And he is going to have the Dolphins first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. Nice job keeping that opening drive alive, and they're in plus territory, that part of the field where you really want to convert on third down. They did.
Big-time pickup for them, and now I think the aggressive play callers think to themselves, this part of the field, I take my shot at the end zone, because the closer you get to the end zone, the field gets condensed. Makes it a lot tougher to run those routes. You still got a chance to actually run past people right now. Take your shot at the end zone early in the down and distance count.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Back to throw here. Being chased out left. And he slides to avoid the hit.
We play to win. Let's go.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the third one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
On the handoff, it's Gaskin. Shifts by at the 15. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. Back-to-back 11-yard gains, and they've got another first down. Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script. You go through your play calling. You go through all the stuff and establish things. And it looks like it's going like clockwork right now for them.
Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Off the option, here's Gaskin. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. Back-to-back 11-yard gains, and they've got another first down. So back-to-back big runs, picking apart this defense on the opening drive.
I thought this was a passing play. I thought this This was the era we were in where the ball was always in the air, right?
They didn't get the memo.
And they didn't get the memo, and I know this to be true. Offensive linemen still, to this day, they want to run the football. They want to fire out and hit people across the line of scrimmage, and they're clearing space.
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. A 3-yard touchdown run. And the Dolphins have taken the lead. Not the first time on this drive we saw him take matters into his own hands, and this time he finishes things off with a touchdown run.
You're not going to be happy with me, but I think he took matters into his own feet, didn't he?
No. Davis from the top rope. I like it. Jason Sanders now for the extra point. And this is up and good to make it 7-3. So that one, an 8-play drive. It spans 75 yards. And it ends with a 3-yard scoring run. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. Takes it at the 7. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. The Ravens heading out on offense as we look at the playoff picture in the AFC. The partner, just looking at some of the struggles they've had this season, the playoffs are not in their future. As they start to peer toward the offseason, what moves might they make?
I think the running back position, and I know we talk all the time about the NFL being a passing league, but the teams that run the ball effectively, they're the ones that go deep into the playoffs and go to the Super Bowl. They have to upgrade here. And you and I both know in recent years in the draft, people have shied away from taking a runner early, but if there's that special one there, I say they go get him.
And he gets this up to the 34 out of bounds there. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1. A shotgun snap and a give to Dobbins. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44.
Don't give him enough. Don't give him enough.
Well, I can certainly tell my age, partner, because when I was a kid, running backs like J.K. Dobbins with over 2,000 yards in their final season in college, they went early in the draft. Instead, he somehow lasted until the 2nd round. But how great is it to get a guy with that ability who can run it inside, run to the perimeter, and catch the football in the backfield? To be able to get him in the 2nd round, that's what I call a steal.
Right back to Dobbins on first. Kamal Martin there on the stop. 2nd down at 5. From the gun, Jones. Staying on his feet. But in the end, the pressure too great, and he goes down. It'll go as a loss of 3 on the sack, and it brings up 3rd down.
And this is what you've got to do against a quarterback like him. You've got to keep him in the pocket and not let him get to the perimeter, because once he gets outside, that's where he can really hurt you.
And on 3rd and 8, defensively, they're going to beef up the secondary. 6 defensive backs. Operating from the gun, Jones. And that is incomplete.
They went with the dime look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
The Ravens send their punter out now as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. Yikes. Terrible kick headed straight for the sidelines.
Let's go. Let's do this.
So Miami coming out for their 2nd drive. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. And he goes down. The Ravens able to get to him. Trey Flowers in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. Boy, that's tough, Charles. First play of the drive, you're hoping to stay ahead of schedule. You take that huge sack, and now you're facing 2nd and a mile.
And the entire time, you were probably thinking the same thing I was. Either get rid of the ball, safely of course, or go down. The yardage he gave up on that play, that's going to be tough for them to make up.
2nd and 20. Off the option, here's Gaskin.
And nothing doing here as this time the run maybe gets him back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He's going to flip one out here to his running back.
That's going to bring up 4th down, only a gain of 2 there. On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. After 1, 7-3 the score on EA Sports. Second quarter now from Baltimore. It's the Ravens in possession. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. And hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win 1st down. You win 2nd down. And guess what? You start accumulating 1st downs. And that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
On 1st and 10, it's Dobbins. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at 2nd down.
Every now and then we have to let a cliche fly, partner. And in this case, what do they say in the NFL? Your best ability is often your availability. And this is an extremely durable kid coming out of Ohio State. Carried the ball every time they even thought about running it. Wore down defenses and able to break big runs late in games. J.K. Dobbins going to Baltimore, an absolute perfect fit. Of course, the catch was nice, but how about what happened after? You're able to stay on his feet and gain all that additional yardage. So many of these slot guys, I think, have running back in their background.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Back to throw. Jones checks this down to Edwards out of the backfield.
Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. Not something you want to see in Week 16 or any week, really. We'll be right back.
Eight yards to go on 2nd down. Looking to throw. Jones. Past the 20. And he takes it down deep into enemy territory. It's a big play there for Baltimore.
He's been a one-man dynamo on this drive so far. You know the other receivers would love to get involved. But right now, his skill and his play has his team in a great position to put 6 points on the board.
After the big play, a chance to finish now on 1st and goal. Dobbins will take this into the end zone. It's a Ravens touchdown. So it was the passing game that got him down here. The closer to the goal line, it's the running game that gets him home.
Certainly appears that they lulled the defense into thinking that the passing game was going to be it the entire drive. Nice change up there going to the running game to get him over the goal line.
Justin Tucker for the extra point. And it's through, and that makes the lead 10-7. A drive that time of 6 plays. And it's finished off by a touchdown run from J.K. Dobbins.
Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown.
This will be fielded inside the 5. And taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line. Miami's offense set and ready to go. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
There's a ball thrown right side and complete. And they work this well upfield across the 45.
But one of the ways that quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field. And here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
And they'll let the quarterback keep it here on 1st and 10. And across midfield he goes into Raven territory. Give him 4 yards there on the first down keeper.
But if you're going to run the read option, typically, you've got to keep an eye on the defensive end.
And what does that mean? What are you looking for with a defensive end?
Well, you want to play off of what he does. If he collapses inside towards the running back, then you pull it and take it yourself outside in. If he stays outside, you go ahead and leave it with the running back. In this case, pulled it and got good yardage himself.
Here we go.
Well, he is certainly dangerous when he spots a lane, and he keeps it himself there. Worked out well.
And how about the moving parts on a play like this? You know you have to practice it over and over because it's almost like a ballet that has to be choreographed. But how about once he made the decision to go, he committed to it and went. Let's face it, most teams are going to defend the running back much more than the quarterback on that type of a play.
They'll run now with Gaskin.
Another miss.
Still on his feet. And they'll get this one down to about the 20-yard line. 42 yards now on the ground on just 7 carries. Seemed like a couple sets of eyes were on the quarterback, so he decided, hey, I'm going to hand this off. Got a good gain out of it.
And you know you need good blocking up front in order to gain yardage, but every one of these RPOs, if you do it right and they look the same, whether it's handed off inside or the quarterback keeps it, that allows you to fool the defense so often. And in this case, fooled them with the inside run.
They'll go option to the short side. Nifty move. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Holding offense.
Can see this quite a bit on running plays with the guys out wide. A lot of times, though, it doesn't get caught.
You're exactly right, because it's away from the play usually, so a lot of it goes undetected. But I know this will surprise you. I coach some receivers in the offseason. We work a lot on hand placement and blocking downfield. Might want to take that course.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Open space inside the 10. And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. Allen Robinson, his first touchdown on the year. And the Dolphins are going to jump back in front.
All drives that result in points hurt a defense, but when they are the sustained variety, play after play, and they just can't get off the field and stop them, that can be demoralizing.
Sanders now to add the extra point. And that makes it 14-10. So this drive spans 7 plays, and it winds up in 6 points for the Dolphins. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And this will be a touchback, so they'll bring it out to the 25. The ball Baltimore's offense set for this next possession.
And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really looked clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away. This defense is really flown around in the first half. They've gotten to the ball carrier before they can really get started. Offense got to come up with something else in order to try and get this running game going.
On 2nd and 11 now. Jones. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really.
He's going to float this one deep right side. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Now, give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
The Ravens send their punter out now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time.
And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. A special teams mistake there, no doubt. Just 26 yards officially on the punt. And it'll be Dolphin football. Myles Gaskin and the rest of the Dolphin offense ready to get back to work here.
A 1,000-yard campaign in his sights, Charles, but needs a little bit of a kick here down the stretch to reach it.
And sometimes at this stage of the season, you're looking for that extra goal, right? That extra motivation to accomplish what you want, not just as a team, but as individuals. He's got to stretch a little bit to get there. That might be what they're talking about during the practice sessions, in their meetings. Hey, we can still get this done. Let's go ahead and feed him the ball.
And the offensive line, I'm sure they're well aware of where he stands as well.
They are, and I think for them, it would be an even better accomplishment to get there now, because it seems like a little bit of a reach.
2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
And that's what I'd like to see out of this defense, a little fire, a little toughness. It hasn't been the best first half for them, but they did do a nice job there, forcing a loss on that play.
Behind the chain, 2nd and 12. This is Gaskin on the carry. Flash the stick skills on that run, but then stop shy of the 35. Back to throw. Oh, looking for Waddle, but it's intercepted. Picked off at the 13. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. So this is something we didn't see at all from this offense in the victory last week. That's a turnover. They didn't have any, but giving the ball away here in the opening quarter.
I love the surprise in your voice because it's exactly what you stated. Didn't see it last week, but it's a key to their win. And it'll be a key to this game as well, protecting the football. Didn't get it done there.
From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. The drive will commence with a run by J.K. Dobbins.
And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
Here's a throw to his running back. It's complete.
And he's taken down, but not before he gets this across the 25-yard line.
He'll dump this off, complete to Dobbins.
That catch good for only a couple.
Was that a receiver? Yeah, actually it was. It was a running back who was a receiver on the play. Ike's been spending time in the receiver drills getting his feet down.
Well, those guys out of the backfield, they got to be good, agile with their feet. He showed the agility there with a toe tap.
No doubt about it. It's like he'd went to ballet school. Got the toes down and stayed in bounds.
Now a nice throw here right side. He hauls it in. And he's going to be out up around the 45-yard line.
That's a pretty throw right there. That ball's in the air a long time, but it's right on the money on the right sideline. A really good route. Moving the defenders towards the middle of the field before breaking to the sideline. What a completion there. Big-time arm strength. Very nice route.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down. Jones signaling, let's go, trying to get his guys up to the line. Meanwhile, Jones' throw complete there to Bateman. They get 14 back, but it leads now to a third down. The Ravens going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Jones now on third down. He'll check this down to Dobbins out of the backfield. And he will have a Ravens first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
And they'll use him out of the backfield, and sometimes quite a bit. They're just trying to get him touches any way they can. 4 catches a week ago. There's another one right there.
Now Jones on 1st and 10. And that'll be complete to Dobbins. The completion, but they go in the wrong direction. A loss of yards, and now they're dealing with a 2nd and long. Again, he'll drop to throw. Jones in trouble here, and down he goes. Ravens going to use their third and final timeout as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the first half. A long way to go here on third down for the 8th play of the drive. Back to throw. Jones. And the ball is out. Jones got hit and lost it. Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the first half. The Ravens send their punter out now as he's on to kick it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Not good at all. Punted just 24 yards there. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And he'll go out of bounds, it looks like right at the 40. They'll contain him to just 4. 2nd down. They'll throw now on the final play. He's going to float this over the middle deep. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. So we are at halftime here on Christmas Eve. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome in everyone to this Christmas Eve edition of the EA Sports Halftime Report. So let's get to it. We'll start up at TIAA Stadium in Jacksonville. And that one at the half with the scoreline of 21-10. James Robinson, a touchdown run in that first half. Next, we'll take the trip north to the Steel City to check on the Steelers at home in Pittsburgh. And they trail in that ball game to the visiting Tennessee Titans. Derrick Henry, well over 100 yards rushing with a touchdown run as well. Lastly, we head to the Gulf Coast and check on the Bucs at home in Tampa. And they've got the lead over the visiting Colts as that one's gone to halftime. Tyler Johnson, a touchdown catch in that first half. With that, let's take a look at the next-gen stats for Miami in that first half. And they've had some success on the ground. And with the lead going into the second half, they'll no doubt be looking to keep it going. Meanwhile, for the Ravens, there's a look at what they were able to do throwing the football. And they'll need to get things in gear as they trail here at the break.
Okay, Coach, adjustments likely going to play a big role in this third quarter in what's been a tight contest so far. Fielded just outside the goal line. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line. The Dolphins getting set to go back to work here in quarter number 3. So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive.
Well, that's complete to the fullback, Ricard.
And he works it across the 25 before being tackled.
And as a quarterback, you're always pleased when you can use all the weapons at your disposal. Here he spots his fullback underneath, gets the completion right there for a nice pickup.
Off the option, here's Gaskin.
And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Now they'll run the option to the short side left. Shoves him away. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
They'll look to throw now on 1st down. He's got a man. It's his fullback. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain.
Options galore here. 2nd and a few inches.
Here's Gaskin. And he'll get it down here to the 43.
2nd and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on 3rd down and pick up the 1st down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are. Stay with who you...
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Odafe Oweh came in there hard on the blitz and got him down 9 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
So that time, Charles, quarterback helpless really in the pocket in the face of a pass rush like that. They were on him instantly.
And this came from the edge, and those pass rushers, they have so many tricks of the trade to get around blockers. They have a lot of tools in their kit. This was pure speed and athleticism on this play, though. And they could barely get a glove on him before he got the quarterback on the ground.
Over the middle and complete to Waddle.
Play number 7 now coming up on the drive. 3rd and 5.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes and they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air. And sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect.
They run the option here on 1st and 10.
And he is going to lose yardage here. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Well, he had success earlier in the drive keeping it himself. Not here, though.
And sometimes when you have that kind of success, you can fall in love with the option a little bit too much and not give the defense credit for making adjustments themselves. And that play starts to lose its effectiveness.
Misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's 2nd and 12. He'll look to throw. Middle of the field, it's Robinson. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helped to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. Going to throw deep for the end zone.
Toward the back corner of the end zone, but he could not get the feet down. This will wind up incomplete.
And now following the incomplete pass, we'll get a timeout here for an injured player. Not something you want to see in Week 16 or any week, really. We'll be right back. Jason Sanders now for the Miami field goal. It's a 39-yard attempt, right hash.
The kick by Sanders is good. And that moves him up by a touchdown now at 17-10. Well, looking at it from a defensive perspective, that keeps the deficit very, very manageable. You know, all things considered, not a bad job on the defensive side.
I would say that you've pointed out something pretty good right there, and that is you actually have both sides happy with that exchange. You know, happy in quotes, of course. One team, hey, we've kept it within range. The other side saying, hey, we put points on the board and did stretch out the lead. Let's see how this one turns out.
Yeah, still bottom line, though, 3 points for the opening drive of the third quarter. Now Jones. A throw taken in by Tylan Wallace. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
So now 1st and 10 as they've crossed into Miami territory at the 48-yard line. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
Second and 12.
47's the mic.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up 3rd down. Throwing, Jones. Open man is Duvernay. And he's got another 1st down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 28.
It's taken a while for this offense to get going. A little creaky at the start, but they're oiled up now. A nice throw there, and they're really putting together a good drive.
Here's Jones. Throwing on 1st down. Right back to Duvernay. That's complete. And he'll go out of bounds inside the 15-yard line.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. A handoff running left is Dobbins. And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
I have to think a major focus of the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the 1st level, make sure that block's secured before they slide off and try and chip someone at the 2nd level.
And this carry terminated at the 8-yard line. Good stick skills showing the power, but just not much room to operate. He's able to rattle off 6 on the carry, and that'll get him to 3rd and 4. Looking to throw. Jones caught on a slant. And in for the Ravens touchdown. Tylan Wallace, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Ravens are an extra point away from tying the football game.
As a former defender, I would be angry as well. Could not get off the field. Well-executed offensive drive. No matter what the defense tried, they couldn't stop them. Tucker now to add the point after.
And he gets it to go, and we're all even, 17 apiece. So that drive in total 8 plays, and it's capped off by the Baltimore score. Nothing separating these two teams on the scoreboard as the kick's away here.
Fielded just outside the goal line. And good coverage there on special teams as they'll get him down shy of the 20. Myles Gaskin and the rest of the Dolphin offense ready to get back to work here.
And we have seen a decline in the numbers. Where does the fault lie? Just him? Maybe the guys up front? Combination?
Well, as you and I both know, it's almost always a collective deal. But in this case, I think maybe the offensive line got a little overconfident. They had blocked so well in the first half, picked up on what the defense was doing. I think we've seen an adjustment now that they have not picked up on, and now they're being a little bit overwhelmed.
And mark him down way up close to the 40 at the 39.
Well, I tell you, there is no antidote for speed, even at the quarterback position, as he keeps it himself and turns it into good yardage.
And it still takes time for a defender to react, even as quarterbacks carry the ball more and more in today's NFL. They're still a little bit in disbelief and realize, oh, my goodness, he's running with the ball. He may be 8, 10, 12 yards downfield at that point.
Back to throw now on first down.
They'll get this out wide to Gaskin.
And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49.
And Charles, with that completion, I'm told that puts him over 3,000 yards passing now on the campaign.
And Brandon, nowadays your leader's usually closer to 5,000 yards on the year, but still, 3,000 yards, a good season.
Under a minute to go in this third quarter as they come up 1st and 10.
Off the option, here's Gaskin.
He gets away from one. And across midfield he goes into Raven territory.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5.
They'll drop to throw.
That's going to be caught by Waddle.
That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down. We're off to the 4th quarter here on Christmas Eve. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Baltimore. A field goal from this spot likely out of the question. They've got to get closer here on 3rd down. Looking to throw. A bullet throw, but incomplete. The Dolphins will send out the punter now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. And this will carry out of bounds. Where are they going to spot it now? At about the 18-yard line, it looks like. And as this offense makes their way back out, it's AFC playoff race time as we give you a look.
Excellent job by their defense to force the punt and provide them with this opportunity, all tied in the 4th quarter. So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18.
Throwing to start the drive. Jones. Throw left side complete. That's Patton. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
Jones throw caught there by Wallace.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
Now Dobbins again on 2nd down.
And he's going to get forward for about 5, but that may be coming back. What say you, Mr. Referee? Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. From the gun, Jones. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked up by Xavier Howard. Week after week, we're seeing plays like this from him, and I think he's in line. We've discussed it before for NFL Defensive Player of the Year.
And a big reason why, I think, is because of his ball skills, and that's something that, for guys of his position, they've talked about it for years. They've done the drills, but they've really increased it in recent seasons because of the offense have gotten so good. He knows how to take the ball away. That is huge for a defender.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through. But that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. They'll look to throw. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively. And now it brings up 3rd down. They're going to look to throw. Forced out to his left. And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. And this one is no good. He missed it. And a costly one there as this game remains tied here in the 4th. What a tough spot to miss a kick. Just an absolute letdown.
Look, they got themselves in the field goal range. Gave them a chance to take the lead. They come up empty, and now you wonder, will their offense ever see the football again?
Yeah, because on the other side, one through the post, and this thing could be over. Here comes the Raven offense now, ready for another possession. Their defense was able to hold serve, albeit with a little help from that missed field goal as they settle in now 1st and 10. Meanwhile, Jones throw into the hands of Andrews. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Operating from the gun, Jones. And the Dolphins rush gets home. Down he goes. Akeem Hicks at 6'5", 332 finds his way home for the sack.
Well, here's where having mobility sometimes can work against you as a quarterback. He thinks he can retreat and outrun the pressure. But that time, they zeroed in on him and took him down for a big loss, partner.
A really big loss. 2nd and 21. A lot of ground to cover. Now flags come in. I think one of the Ravens got going a little early. That's going to set them back 5 yards. And that false start penalty certainly not helping their cause here. 2nd down and long. Here's a give to Dobbins. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Just a 1-yard loss that time, but that's not what they needed. Now they're dealing with a 3rd and long. And the trend continues here in the 4th like it was in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. He's had nowhere to run.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do they keep feeding him the football? Well, they trust him first and foremost. They do believe that over time he might actually pop one of these runs. But bottom line is he takes care of the ball well for them, so they'll keep handing it to him.
The Ravens on 3rd down. They're at 50%, 4 for 8. This will be 3rd and forever. Blitz forthcoming as he'll look to throw. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked up by Xavier Howard. And they take over. They'll set up shop at the 46-yard line.
Well, we say it often, Charles, but not all interceptions are created equally, and that is a big one here in a tie ball game in the 4th quarter.
And, Brandon, when games are this close, it usually comes down to the team making the fewest mistakes, and that was one of our mantras back at Tennessee. Coach Mears used to say all the time, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. You've got to cut those down to give yourself an opportunity.
And they'll begin by running the option.
And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Now after the running play, we've got a man down on the field. Not something you want to see in Week 16 or any week, really. We'll be right back.
He's going to keep this again. He juked him. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. It looked like almost a miscommunication defensively, because once he decided to keep it, he had pretty smooth sailing.
Yeah, it became a question of, wait a minute, who's got the quarterback? And when you talk about miscommunication, it's supposed to be called assignment football on the defensive side of the ball. But the assignment gets mixed up. That's the end result.
Come on, let's go.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. And to give this time to the tailback. And they'll get him down right around the 16. Defensively, a solid response after giving up back-to-back first downs.
Well, that's not a run that's going to make any of the highlight tapes, but they've been moving it well all game on the ground. This is another one that keeps them moving forward.
Gaskin again on second down. Slipped one tackle, but no more as he's knocked to the deck behind the line of scrimmage. A yard in the wrong direction makes third down tougher. Third down and 9.
I know they've got to be careful not to go to the well too often, but it's a fine line, isn't it? Because sometimes if you've got success, you want to just keep pounding away.
But no success there. They rallied quickly on the defensive end. The Dolphins on third down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This is 3rd and 9.
They'll set up a throw. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete.
And able to get this down inside the 15, either the 13 or 14 before he's out of bounds. 3 yards, all they could muster there, and it'll bring up 4th down.
The key to any screen play is all in the deception, and that means everyone on the offensive side of the ball. But someone gave it up because that one wasn't very well concealed. And the defense able to rally to it and hold it for just a short gain.
Sanders' kick is good. And the Dolphins have taken the lead here in the 4th. So the drive here ends with a field goal. It does give them the lead, but this one's still certainly a long ways from over.
It definitely puts a lot of pressure on your defense to hold the lead, right? They're happy to have it and happy to be out there trying to do so. But I know as a former player, in the back of their mind, they're thinking, why don't you score the touchdown and seal this thing?
And they'll be backed up to start this drive as he's taken down right around the 15. The Ravens offense back out there. And they really need to forget about their last time out, the turnover that led to a field goal. So now they try to regroup, trailing in the final quarter. Obviously, they'd love a touchdown, but 3 would suffice. They'll start on the ground with Dobbins. And down he'll go at the 25.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game. When offense reads blitz, doesn't matter where it's coming from, tight ends know that they become a big part of the passing game because there should be an easy outlet when all those extra bodies are trying to get to the quarterback. A hot route, so to speak.
Now a throw downfield is taken in by his running back. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45.
And here we are in the 4th quarter, partner, and we watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there. Not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
So now 1st and 10 as they've crossed into Miami territory at the 44-yard line. And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down. To throw on 2nd and 10. Jones, he'll take a shot here for Patton. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down. Back to throw again. Over the middle, complete. That's Wallace. And he stopped up short of the first as they tackle him down at about the 36. It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a 4th down. 3 points separating these two sides with 2 minutes left to go in the fourth. So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back. And they've got a fourth down now in a game that, to be honest, has been pretty much everything we could have asked for. Tucker's kick is good. And we are all tied here in the final stages. So a big kick to get this back to even. And now the worry is, did you leave too much time on the clock? Because another field goal the other way, that does you in.
You're exactly right. You didn't get it to overtime yet. So now as a defense, you've got to think to yourself, you can't play prevent defense and just give up big chunks of yardage in front of you, but you also can't let anyone behind you. So you sit right on the line between the two, play the best defense you can, and not make it easy for them to move the ball downfield.
He'll come out throwing here on first down. Got his man complete over the middle. That's long. The Dolphins moving with a sense of urgency here. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. He's going to float this one deep right side. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up fourth down. Now on fourth down, on is the punt team sending this one away. And a fair catch called for and made just inside the 35-yard line. A 41-yard punt there with no return. And the Ravens, they'll take over. Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. They need to get this around the 40 to have a chance to win it in regulation. From the 40, it's a 57-yard field goal, so that gives you a gauge.
And all they're trying to do now is pick up yardage in good chunks and get out of bounds to stop the clock.
And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Calais Campbell able to record his 5th sack of the season. I don't know what else can be said about this pass rush. They have been sensational, CD. That is now 6 sacks for them.
And how many times do we talk to offensive coordinators and they say a sack is a result of everyone on offense not doing their job? But let's be honest about this one. This is the offensive line unable to counter the pass rush. They've been teeing off all game long.
Now Jones. And this one too low. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Dobbins trying the left side. And he is going to be brought down. And now making matters more dire, this is going to be fourth down. A good pickup there, 7 yards, but it brings up fourth down. The Ravens send their punter out now as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And we have free football overtime. Here we go, my friend.
And the way this game played out, this is exactly how it should end, going to overtime, because neither one got an advantage today.
It's a little teaching moment here. Overtime rules. Remind us how this goes, partner.
Okay, so in the past, we had sudden death. First team to score wins, but no longer. Now, if the team receives the ball, scores a touchdown, they win the game. If they kick a field goal, though, or don't score, the other team gets a possession. And after both teams get a possession, then we're into sudden death. First team to score wins the game.
And they will play it safe here and bring this one out to the 25. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. They control their own destiny here. They have the football in overtime. Obviously, a touchdown would win it.
And I think teams around the league are still adjusting to the idea of going downfield, scoring a touchdown wins the game, because they were used to just going downfield and trying to get in field goal range to win a game. Still having to make that transition. Let's face it now, the ones who are doing it best know they need to go down, attack, put the ball in the end zone, and not leave it up to a field goal and give the other team a chance.
Yeah, as we said, they control their own destiny now. opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Another run with Gaskin. After getting stuffed on first down, not much better there. 2-yard gain. In need of a 3rd and 10 conversion to keep this opening drive of OT alive. Buying time to his left. And he slides and covers up at the end as he's going to be able to pick up decent yardage. The Dolphins will send out the punter now. On for a very important punt here in overtime. It's a 40-yard punt, but they lose yardage on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Baltimore about ready to go on offense. Their defense did its job, got the stop. All they need is 3, and this is over.
Couldn't have done much else other than score themselves and end it. But they turned it back over to them, and now all they need is a field goal to win the game. An excellent job by the defense. Can the offense finish things off?
And part 1 is done, now part 2. Oh, this one incomplete. The pressure got to him as he released it. And it's 2nd down.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes. But the best part for him, he's got 2nd and 3rd down to fall back on.
On 2nd down, a run with Dobbins. Dobbins hit and he fumbles. And this is picked up by the Dolphins. And they will take over at the 26-yard line. And a costly mistake. Coaches talk so much about ball security, and in overtime, so paramount.
Partner, do you ever wonder if maybe they talk about it too much?
Too much, yeah.
Doesn't seem like you can, but maybe by discussing it time and time again, and you know they overemphasized it here, they don't.
And now we've got a review here. All challenges in overtime, of course, initiated by the replay official here in the stadium. Now the question, was the knee in fact down before this ball comes loose? And is the video convincing enough to overturn it?
A lot of factors here. Remember, you also need clear possession of the football afterwards. This is a tough one to overturn.
We gonna shut y'all.
So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble. Jones, following the fumble recovery, he'll throw. That's taken in by Duvernay. And he will have a Ravens first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
That was a fun one to watch right there. A nice in-breaking route and plenty of room in the middle of the field. And he was able to get behind the linebackers and grab the completion for a really good pickup.
The big play to start him out. Has him at the 45 already. Dobbins running out of the gun. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Off the play fake. Jones. And this is what here? Incomplete, they say. It looked like it was intercepted, but he apparently did not get the 2 feet down in bounds. Jones now to throw on 3rd down. This one is caught. It's Patton. And he will go out right near the 35-yard line. He's padding his already great numbers here in overtime. More importantly, though, moving his guys downfield.
And I think that's exactly what's going through his head right now. Moving them downfield, putting them in a position to win the game. The stats, that's for the fantasy guys. I know they're enjoying that show.
So now 1st and 10 as they've crossed into Miami territory at the 35-yard line. Now a handoff for Dobbins. And he'll be taken down at the 34. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. They'll go again with Dobbins. And this time they were ready for him as they'll stop him right at the line of scrimmage. They wind up losing a couple there, so they go behind the original line of scrimmage, and now 3rd and 11 coming up.
Sometimes you get all those big guys down there in one spot, and there's just nowhere to go. And in this case, the defensive tackle used his strength and swallowed him up.
Dolphins bring on an extra defensive back on 3rd down.
Dobbins going to take the handoff on the option.
And they're going to get him down well short of the first as he can only get this to the 30. It's a 6-yard gain, and it leaves them looking at a 4th down.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
So it's up now to one of the most accurate kickers in NFL history, Justin Tucker. Now the Dolphins are going to take another timeout here. They'll be left with just one remaining here in OT. So it's up now to one of the most accurate kickers in NFL history, Justin Tucker. This to win it in overtime. And he got it. The kick is good in overtime. He's able to split the uprights. And that will break our tie and give him a 3-point lead.
So they wind up turning the turnover into points as they convert there for 3.
Yeah, that was a nice job there to force the fumble. They recover, hand things over to their offense, and then the offense went down and got them 3. That alone, that's not enough to win a game, but both units able to do their jobs on these last 2 drives.
And, Charles, I think when the schedule comes out, all teams, no matter where they're predicted to finish, talk about protecting your home turf. They were able to do that here in this one.
Similar to a tennis match, right? Not letting them break your serve. That way you hold on to it. They got it done, and they feel very good about that victory.
So for Baltimore, a win will come too late to save a losing season, but they do move to 6-9 on the year. And they will hit the road next week for a date with the Green Bay Packers. Meanwhile, for Miami, their playoff hopes take a big hit as they fall to 8-7. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week.